Hello, I would like to bring the select board meeting to order for August 9th, 2022. The select board is present minus Mark Pendergast, the town manager, town clerk, and Vision Berwick are all by Zoom. And let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, we have the approval of our July 26th meeting minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second motion.
Any further comment? Everyone in favor? We can go by hand again. That.
Aye.
There we go. We have no public hearings. Oh, sorry, did I skip? There is first public comment. Does any member of the public want to speak?
I don't know. We've never done. We're here about the fire station.
All right,
Okay.
you'll be coming in later.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
you're good.
Yeah.
So no public is here to make a comment, but I would like to respond to the complaints we've received about the water. Obviously, we're fully aware of what's happening, and it's not a new problem. It's a problem that's been going on for 4, 5, 6, 7 years at this point. And it's an issue that we have been addressing over time. We've done a lot of things about the water issue, including getting a new plant manager. We looked for new sources of water, new wells to drill. We did attempt to get water connected to Summersworth. They declined that. So these are not an issue that's not being addressed. We are addressing it. It is definitely worse this year than it has been in the past couple of years. But we do have the approved grant and bond to fix up the water plant so it is more efficient in drought times. And we're going to have a presentation about that later in this meeting. This is an issue that we are aware of, and we are doing everything in a proper order to get dealt with. So yeah. Does anybody else have any comments they want to add to that?
The only thing I'd like to say is, just so that we can get it out there, is the town is providing water to those members who are on the water district. Gallons of water at 3 locations: the town hall, the fire station, and the water department itself. And if there's any member who is disabled or unable to go to one of those locations, please contact the town hall and we'll get that water to you. But we are, responding to the issue.
Anything else? All right, then I will close our first public comment. We have no public hearings. We do have reports of committee from Envision Berwick, who just had a concert over the weekend and has another one coming up in 2 weeks.
That's right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to those of you who attended last Saturday's Bring Your Lawn Chairs to Sullivan Square. It was a brutally hot day. And from what we've heard from folks, a lot of people intended to attend once the heat broke. And so it was a slow start, although, in terms of planning and the event itself and the look and feel and everyone's experience, it was a super positive event. It did, obviously when you plan an outdoor festival, there's always a lot of hand-wringing around rain. We feel very lucky that we have such a fantastic location because we know were we to be rained out, which is what every performer asks us, we are able to move everybody to the auditorium of Town Hall. Obviously, it holds fewer people, but it's a great situation to be able to have a backup plan like that. And that is what we did. When the rains came hard, we shifted people inside, and that was pretty deep into the day. We had multiple variety acts and 2 of our bands play, and we shut down for about a 45-minute window while the rain came through, and then like it happens in the movies, the skies parted and the sun came out, and we were able to close out with our trapeze artist right there in Sullivan Square, and then Truffle, and closed with a sing-along. So it was, and lots of folks not only stuck around, but then showed up for that. So we were very, we had a good sense that people had a great time. The performances went off without a hitch, which I was thrilled about. And then I think Elise Weeks, who organized, I mean, there were a bunch of people who were involved in the organization, but Elise and Marie are here to speak to some of what they organized and how it went. So I'll hand off to you first, Elise.
Sure. Yeah. Hi everyone. So I helped do the kind of like the look and feel, the graphics and things like that. But I just was really impressed, and just like my heart was made so happy by how many people showed up to help. We had not only just Envision Berwick there, but the folks from Kennebunk Savings Bank, who was one of our sponsors. Terry's grandson showed up. We had friends show up. So I think there was a really solid effort to do the setup and the breakdown after the event. I think it only really took about an hour after the event was over to get everything broken down. We were just mostly waiting for the stage crew to come at the end just so we could get the banners packed up. But a few of us came back the next day just to kind of do a sweep. Cyrus was there kind of organizing the sandbags and the hay bales, and Marie and I were working on the, any tents that were left overnight to dry out, and the merch and things like that. So that was really nice to see. But from, my perspective, is I was kind of on the family activity side of things, where just a lot of really positive feedback. We ran out of lemon peppermint sticks, and I think that, kids and adults were getting their face painted all night, which was really fun. And kids were drawing on the sidewalk and the front area of town hall all night. And everyone I kind of talked to just seemed to just have a big smile on their face and really seemed to enjoy the experience. We've gotten some fun feedback online already from, people we've been posting about to just kind of promote them, and that they had a great time and were psyched to be part of it. And what else? Marie, do you want to talk about like the food vendors and stuff like that? I'll probably think of something else.
Yeah, sure. And just to chime in about the volunteers, it was really incredible just to have people show up at the beginning and at the end when everyone was really hot. Half the people were sopping wet from getting poured on, and just help us lug stuff, pack cars up and stuff. It was really such an incredible experience, and the fact that everyone stuck around. So many people, Kevin counted over 100 people stuck it out through the rain and continued to enjoy the aerialist and truffle after the rain. So it was really great. And I coordinated the beer garden and the vending, and all our vendors were, obviously beer was local, Corner Point Beer Garden, and all the vendors were local as well. So it was our soon-to-be Bad Wolf Butcher, and they had a great experience. I heard from Allie, Happy Face Barbecue, also Berwick resident. They do pop-ups around town. They sold out by the end of the night, had a great experience. No-No's Kitchen, also Berwick. They utilized the kitchen in Sullivan Square in the West Wellness building. They had a great time. So we've just had really positive mentions from them, and also from the community of trying all those local foods. So overall, everything went really smoothly with both the beer garden and the vendors.
I just wanted to chime in too really quick and just say we made almost $1,700 in merch sales. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, if you guys weren't there, I will mention that we have a whole new, some really pretty fantastic new things added to the Berwick merchandise, including camping mugs, lady tees,
a couple hoodies. There's a couple new styles of hoodies. There's another t-shirt that's just a gray t-shirt instead of the green. So there's some new options for our merch. So
plus the bright orange caps that you wear to make sure you don't get shot in the woods. With
Yeah.
the logo.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, and we did mention this, we had Martin England mention this from the stage, but it does bear mentioning again. Devin Dukes we could not do this without Devin Dukes. They for all of the apparel, they front the apparel. So they create it, they make it happen. They hand us all of the apparel and all the sizes, and we pay them back. In Vision Berwick, the town pays them back as we sell that merchandise. So it really is. We're so lucky to have them protecting our ability to have all this fabulous apparel with our town's logo on it. So it's pretty cool. And I think, broadly speaking, that covers most of the stuff we wanted to talk about. We worked really hard to, as Elise indicated, make sure that we've done, a thorough job cleaning up, and Envision just wanted to make sure that we are leaving no footprint for the town and for the town hall, and trying to make sure that this runs as smoothly for those of you who work here full time to come back to work on Monday and not have anything less than perfect. So that was our goal, and I think we met it. I hope.
Yeah, I just
That was
like
one of our goals, I should say. Having an amazing event in Sullivan Square for the town to celebrate Berwick is also a goal, and I think we met that as well.
I just want to say that I think you guys did a great job. As I was there for most of it, I did leave partway through Truffle, so I didn't stick it out to the very end. But it was an amazing time. As you guys were very well organized, and I can't wait till the 20th to see you guys do it all over again.
So
Thanks. Us too.
is
Here's
there
hoping that it's less than 140 degrees.
is there going to be is it mostly the same stuff, or is there going to be new different stuff on the 20th?
Good question. Who wants to give the music act lineup? Somebody jump in. Marie, you know this like the back of your hand. Take it. I know you know it. Well, I'll push the wheelman. One of the things that we are having that's very special at the next one, we will continue to have a bunch of the variety acts. The juggling duo, the two young women who are a juggling duo, they will be returning. Gus, who makes crazy instruments, plays the theremin. He will be returning. I think our puppeteer duo with their giant puppets, who run a camp, and the kids make the puppets as part of the camp. They will be returning. We have a different magician this time. Mickey Lee is coming up from Boston. I can't remember what the other. We will not. No trapeze this time, but in place of trapeze, we have the Wheelmen, which is an organization, a volunteer organization of wackadoodle people who love vintage bikes, and so they're bringing their penny farthing bikes with the giant wheel in the front and the small wheel in the back. And in fact, Zip came by to introduce himself. I think he said he was like 89 years old and is just amazing. And he'll be there. Hopefully, his grandson, who rides the penny farthings, will be coming, and he'll be bringing some historical bikes and showing those off. So that's sort of the variety, wacky. Silhouette cutting. We had free.
That was incredible.
Cutting. She will be back doing free silhouettes for families and children for sittings.
Amazing.
She's unbelievably talented. We're so lucky to have her.
Yeah, she doesn't use a light. She doesn't cast a shadow. She just does it looking at the child. It's incredible.
Just with scissors.
Yeah, and so those will sprinkle between Bitter Pill will kick off the day. They're so fun. Dan Blakesley and then Pete Kilpatrick Band. Right? Okay, yeah.
Another great lineup. Of
Yes, great
very,
lineup.
very
Super fun.
popular local acts. So,
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
It does. What time is that again? Just for anybody watching.
Starts at 3 p.m., goes from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Terrific. Anybody else have any questions?
No, I think
No,
you just
no
did a
questions.
wonderful job.
Thank-
yeah.
thank you
guys
again.
did an awesome job down there, and food was great, so the vendors are great, the acts are great, and yeah, Sunday I ran by just going through there, and you're right, it was cleaned. It was cleaned up. It looked great out there. So you guys did an awesome job, and just thank all the volunteers for us. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yep. Thank you. We really appreciate it. We'll see. Can we see you again on the 23rd for an update of?
You won't see me. Well, maybe somebody can come in my stead. That the week following is when I go completely offline to camp. So
Yep, that's fine.
Nice.
very healthy.
We just would love to have an update and make sure people know see how it goes. You know,
Absolutely. Yep.
terrific. Thank you guys very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, so other department reports, we're all set with that. We have a special presentation about the Berwick Water Plant upgrade from Dan Fleig. Is that Fleig?
I can just give a brief intro. Dan, thank you for being here. I've been working with Dan for close to 2 years now. We initially sought out an aquifer source next to our water system. We didn't find anything with the quantity or quality, unfortunately. But Dan's here to answer questions and go over the treatment process that we have planned and to go over any frequently asked questions from the community. So Dan, please.
Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen. I have a couple slides that I'm going to present. I'm going to try to keep the presentation to no more than 5 minutes or so. I'm going to leave some time for some questions and answers. But my goal here is just to provide a general update for the board and the public here. And give me a moment here. It's been a while since I've used the Zoom link. Share. I think I'm sharing.
There you go.
Got it.
We can see it.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the first bullet, Jim, you kind of stole my thunder there. So last year, Wright Piers looked at investigate the feasibility of developing a groundwater supply as a replacement for the river source, and we weren't able to find productive aquifers in the appropriate quantities needed to consider it feasible to replace the river supply. So at that point, we had to pivot back to the treatment plant upgrade options, which have been studied over the years. We've been focusing on reviewing the feasibility to develop a ballastic clarification process, which has worked well in Somersworth at a full-scale design since 2006. And Wright Piers did that design work, and I was a staff engineer at the time working on that project. So as part of that analysis and screening, we've been considering alternatives for the manganese oxidation and removal step as part of that process. And the overall goal is to kind of retain the existing filters and chemical feed system that's part of the plant now, but add this new pretreatment process to target removal of the color, the high turbidity in the river, obviously the manganese, which is elevated, particularly this time of year when the river is low. So the treatment plant upgrade objectives, remove the color, dissolve organic carbon and the manganese, and really it's about improving the quality of the water for the users. Removal of the manganese and the organic carbon will lower the chlorine demand, so it should lower the amount of chlorine that has to be added to the water to maintain a chlorine residual in the system, so that will be an operational benefit. And for those that are more sensitive to the chlorine taste and smell, that should be an improvement post-upgrade. And obviously, consideration of operational cost and efficiency. Because we're adding a treatment process, we have to add chemistry to remove manganese and also the organics in the water. There's a cost associated with that. And the goal here is, which I'm getting to on the next slide, is to evaluate and try to optimize how much chemistry is added to minimize the overall cost for the long-term operation of the treatment. So a short-term plan, environmental review, that's a federal requirement which we completed this summer that's related to the bond funding through the SRF program. Once I heard about the particularly high issues of the manganese, we initiated, I put together a sampling plan which we started today. We're going to be doing weekly raw and treated water samples. Did our first sample round this morning, coordinated with STAR at the plant. And we're going to be collecting data for the month of August while the river's still low before the rains come back in the fall. but we're going to reassess in September. Right now, we're scheduled to complete a 2 to 4 week pilot study using the ballasted clarification process. That's a pilot trailer and equipment that's supplied by Kruger as a subsidiary of Veolia. So we are kind of in the final stages of finalizing that pilot agreement with them. And we've been coordinating with the electrician that the folks use at the plant to provide temporary power for that pilot test and so forth. So that's going to be ongoing. So right now we're scheduled end of October, last week of October, and we want to wrap this up by November, by Thanksgiving. The purpose of the pilot test is to demonstrate the treatment performance and chemical dosing for a full-scale design. Also this fall in parallel, we're going to be completing the topographic survey. We have an idea where the building is going to go. Geotechnical borings and doing all that preparatory work for the design. Once the piloting is complete, there's going to be a period of a few weeks before the laboratory data comes back and we get a pilot report. We're going to incorporate that into a preliminary design report. From a schedule standpoint, I'm looking at December through March. And that will include kind of formalize the treatment recommendations, how we're going to handle the waste streams on the process, provide updated cost estimates and a construction timeline for the project. Final design and permitting, put a placeholder here, March through July, that will be firmed up with a preliminary design report. And then construction, assuming we get the project up to bid next summer, around August, we would be probably awarding the contract sometime in September, end of September, and hopefully starting construction next fall. And obviously, we're anticipating about a year of construction. One thing that's in there is the equipment procurement. So one of the things I spoke to James about today is that we're going to be having a conversation with the drinking water program about strategies to potentially pre-purchase that equipment because it's probably going to have a 35 to 40 week lead time to try to accelerate the schedule on the construction side of things. So that's the basic recap. I guess I'll pause right here and entertain any questions from the board.
So, 35-week lead time for the equipment. That's what, 8 months, 9 months? Yeah, I think we really should get on to the pre-buying program to make sure that we have an empty building with no equipment in it come time. Yeah. So yeah, my main question was about the timeline, which you answered very well, and in good detail. So optimistically or conservatively, everything should be built and operational by November of 2024.
Right. And again, I qualify that to some extent. I mean, we're still in the pandemic issues with supply chain. You know, I feel like things are trending back towards normal, but we're still seeing a significant lead time on electrical equipment, generators, and things like that. Under normal circumstances, pre-pandemic, I would say that's a conservative schedule. I think once we get to the preliminary design report presentation to the board, I'll have a better handle on that. Be able to speak with a little bit more confidence on that schedule.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, my concern too is going to be that timeline because we know we're going to get asked. And Dan, I think, like Noah said, you laid that out perfectly in the presentation. So thank you.
I think
Can we get a copy of that timeline?
like just email us the PowerPoint or
Yeah, just send it to.
I can send
Just
the
send
slides
it to.
over to Jim and you can forward it to
Right.
you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
yeah. I think we're all set. I really appreciate you coming in and explaining that, and hopefully that'll answer some questions from the town.
As we get further into the process, I'd be more than happy to, more on a routine basis, give these updates and make sure you guys are well informed of the process. Because it's a lot of technical items here that not easy to explain.
Well, hopefully, my hope is, I mean, this is as bad as it's been in about 5 or 6 years. I'm hoping going forward that over the next 2 years of getting it planned and approved and built and everything like that, that it won't be such a huge issue next year that we have, you know, a bunch of questions and complaints and stuff like that, that we can kind of go about business as normal into getting it built, and then, you know, then it won't be even a question anymore at all. So,
Right. In the process, like I said, we know it will work. It works in Somersworth. It is a newer generation of the process, so there's been some modifications from a design standpoint to improve the efficiency, and there's some other things that we want to test. But, you know, we know it will work. It's just about, you know, doing a demonstration test, collecting enough data so we can have some confidence on certain design characteristics, chemical dosing, so we can estimate the total annual cost of operation and those sorts of things that are going to be of interest because of, you know, for the budgeting.
terrific. Well, we will call upon you as soon as there's some updates to be made.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for yours. All right. We have no unfinished business. Town manager report.
I have an update on Diamond Hill Bridge. I got a quote through our bridge engineer, Scott Construction, and then there's one avenue where we could temporarily secure the Diamond Hill Bridge and get on the main DOT work plan, which is a 3 to 4 year list, and then at that point they would fund the bridge at 50-50 cost. So that's something I got recently, and I'll distribute that around, and we can take a look at it and see if that's the direction we want to go. Are there any questions on that?
How much would the temporary fix cost in comparison? I mean, like, when you factor in the temporary fix plus inflation over 3 to 5 years, then 50%, is it that huge of a savings?
The temporary fix is $75,000.
Okay, that's pretty significant. Okay. I mean, significantly lower than doing the whole bridge now.
Yeah, right now.
Yes, we definitely would like to hear more about that.
Okay, that's all I have for now.
Any questions for the town manager? No. All right, terrific. Selectmen communications, there's none.
I have one thing
Actually,
to add.
Actually, can we go back a minute? I do
Yeah.
have a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. James, where are we with replenishing the water supply for people who need to go pick it up? Is that still available? Do you anticipate that to be available over the next week or so?
In terms of how much we have on hand,
Yeah, you said you were going to follow up with Poland Springs.
yes, we had. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because I just want to say major thanks to Public Works and the fire department. They coordinated a shipment of over 3,000 gallons on Friday, and they had about a 4-hour heads up. So we're still asking for 2 gallons at a time, but obviously if you have a bigger family, just give me a call. I'm at Extension 111 at the Town Hall. And also, like Linda said, if for the mobile home parks or any communities, Berwick Meadows, Applegate, things like that, I'd be more than happy to bring over a few cases.
Sure.
Thanks.
What do you got?
Well, when I was at the transfer station last week, Hokie asked me to make an announcement for the Hazardous Waste Day coming up September 10th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's over on Route 4, just off of Route 4 across from Lowry's. It's open to all Berwick residents. You will be asked for a proof of residency. And that's to bring any hazardous waste from the garage, from the house, from your yard, and we'll dispose of it.
Did they give any specifics about what do you need for proof of residency?
Just
License?
a proof of residency will be required.
All right, terrific. That brings us to the approval of accounts payable. All right. We have a payroll warrant number 7 dated August 4th, 2022 for $87,837.66. We have a payroll warrant number 9 from August 9th, 2022, $86,149.03. And an account payable warrant number 8 dated August 9th, 2022, the amount of $1,026,544.06. I move that we pay our bills.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? And those are good. All right, new business. MMA elections. There's 2 committees open. All right. First one is the Legislative Policy Committee. There are 2 slots available, and 3 people are running. The people are William Ward, Select Board Member from Kennebunk, Lori Smith, Town Manager from Kennebunkport, and Dwayne Moran, Town Manager from North Berwick. My only thoughts on this is, as I don't know any of them personally, and they're all willing to serve, is that we should definitely have at least one person from North Berwick and one person from Kennebunkport, so that regions are better represented. But beyond that, I have no personal thoughts, so I open it up to the board. Any thoughts?
Well, I've worked with Dwayne. He's been around for 20-some years over in North Berwick, and I would support him for it. The other 2 I don't know. There's town manager and select board member. I have no preference. I looked at their background, and both of them have served on the legislative policy committee before.
Yeah, I was going to say Lori Smith has before.
Yeah.
I would vote
So,
for her.
you know her through your work at all, or?
No, actually,
No,
I'm just from
no.
the town.
Yeah.
In New York. Yeah.
Yep. So,
I just don't know Mr. Ward. Do you know?
yeah.
Then maybe we look at Lori Smith and Dwayne Ward. We have to select 2, correct?
Yep.
2 out of the 3.
I am perfectly comfortable with that. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, the same thing. I mean, looking at all 3, they're all
Very
very comparable people.
Right.
Whoever's going to be there, and again, like those that I do, having the representation of both sides is
Good.
important. Just getting both sides.
I served on that committee once, when I first started back up, and if you take it seriously, it is a very important committee.
It is,
because they
yeah.
deal with what's going on in the with what's going on with other towns. So, I'll make a motion that we support Dwayne Warren and Laurie Smith for the Legislative Policy Committee.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, that one's all set there. The second committee is the executive committees. Yeah, executive committee, vice president and executive committee members. For vice president, there's 1 person running and 1 person to select. And for the executive committee is 3 people running and 3 people to
3 selections.
select. Yeah. So there's really no questions there unless there's a person we wanted to write in.
I'll make a motion that we support the slate as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right. That committee is all set. All right. So we have no quit claim deeds. We have no abatements. Second public comment. No public has materialized. We do have an executive session for the discussion of real estate and labor contract. We will not be making any votes or decisions in the executive session, so it won't be coming out of it. So this is the end of the meeting for the public's sake. Does anybody have anything they want to add before we close off the feed?
I'm all set.
All right, terrific. I move that we enter executive session, Title 1, 4056C and 4056D for discussions of real estate and the labor contract.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
And we're all set. So,
Just want to give them a minute to shut the camera off.
No, we won't have to shut the camera off.
no, we're going to leave the camera on for James.
Yeah.